You ever wonder who manages the universe's PR department? Or, who's the top lawyer in the cosmic court? Well, today, we are diving deep into the Big Dipper constellation to meet a fascinating deity who holds that exact job description. Let's get right into it.
Right, so forget any image of an ancient, dusty god. I want you to think of Jumen Xingjun as a modern, super high-powered executive. His whole portfolio? It covers everything from official broadcasts and legally binding contracts to, well, all the juicy stuff that slips through the cracks. The point is, he's the one who hears everything.
Okay, so let's make it official. We are talking about Jumen Xingjun, the spirit of Tin Su, which is the second star in the Big Dipper. And in the celestial pecking order, his roles are crystal clear. He is the absolute master of communication, of information, and of the law.
And this really shows you exactly where he fits in. See, if the supreme deity, Ziwei Dadi, is the chairman of the board, then Jumen Xingjun is his go-to C-suite executive. He's the guy managing the entire flow of information, handling all the legalities, and making sure the chairman's directives are communicated absolutely perfectly.
So you might be asking, where does all this incredible power even come from? Well, to get that, we have to look right at his name. The name Geminin itself is pretty much the key that unlocks his entire domain.
Jumen literally translates to giant gate. And look, this is not just any old gate. It's a metaphor for two really distinct but totally connected ideas. On one hand, it's the entrance for everything that's spoken, and on the other, it's a door to everything that's hidden.
And this duality, it is the absolute core of his power. See, on one side, he governs the mouth. That's the gate of all communication, everything from a really eloquent speech to a fierce debate. But on the other side, he controls the hidden door, the portal to secrets, mysteries, and all the truths that need digging up. He's part spin doctor, part master detective.
Now, think about this for a second. Every single word you speak, every promise you make, it is all being meticulously documented by his department. And these aren't just, idle notes. They are official records. They track the consequences of your speech, and they serve as literal actual evidence when your soul is judged. The big takeaway here is, he is always listening.
Now, you can probably guess that having the universe's most powerful tongue, well, it comes with a catch. Jumen's greatest strength, his absolute mastery of language, is also as big as liability. And this is exactly why he's often known as the Star of Disputes.
To put it as simply as possible, his domain gives mortals an incredible superpower. The ability to use language with just surgical precision, logic, and influence. But, like any superpower, it can be used for good or for total chaos.
When it's channeled in a positive way, his influence is just phenomenal. It gives people the ability to spot the flaw, that little bug, in any argument. It fuels this relentless desire for knowledge, turning them into a walking, talking, living encyclopedia. So it's really no surprise that professions that rely on a sharp intellect and even sharper words, we're talking lawyers, doctors, journalists, top consultants, they are all under his domain. And here you can really see the two sides of the coin. On one side, you've got the guardian of truth, this total professional who uncovers secrets and literally turns their speech into wealth. But on the other side, you get the troublemaker, someone who just gets lost in gossip, becomes overly suspicious, and uses their words like weapons, often ending up in legal trouble themselves. It's the same exact skill set, just with completely different outcomes.
So what in the world does this ancient star god have to do with us today? Well, the answer is pretty much everything. In our modern world, his power hasn't faded one bit. In fact, it's been magnified exponentially. You could absolutely call him the CEO of the information age.
Seriously, the internet is the modern-day kingdom of Jumen Xingjun. I mean, it is the ultimate giant gate, a realm built entirely on communication, on information, and yes, on hidden truths.
And just like his personality, the internet has that same dual nature, right? It can be an amazing tool for empowerment, spreading knowledge, fostering global conversations. But it's also the domain of the keyboard warrior, where the power of speech gets amplified without any wisdom, and that leads directly to misinformation and online toxicity. That's Jumen's negative side on full display for everyone to see.
Even the way he bestows wealth is perfectly suited for our world today. His blessings aren't about hitting the lottery. They represent hidden wealth or knowledge wealth, the kind of money that's earned through expertise. Think about it. Consulting fees, book royalties, licensing deals, high-level professional salaries. It is wealth generated purely from what you know and how well you can communicate it.
Okay, so how do we navigate all of this? How do we align ourselves with the positive, productive side of this really powerful force? Well, here is a quick user's guide.
Here's the most important thing to remember. Engaging with the energy of Jumen is not about asking for riches, not at all. It is about asking for the wisdom to use our words effectively and for the discipline to avoid creating conflict where it doesn't need to exist. And here are 3 simple, modern steps to do just that. First, verify your sources. Honor the truth seeker in him. Second, speak with purpose. Use your communication skills to build things up and solve problems. And third, and this one is maybe the most important, know when silence is the most powerful tool you have. The best detectives, after all, don't reveal everything they know.
Ultimately, Jumen Shingjun really embodies that old idea that knowledge is power. But he also teaches a really vital modern lesson. In a world that is drowning in data, wisdom isn't just about knowing more stuff. It's about knowing how and when to speak. And that, right there, is our only true defense.
And so that leaves us all with one final question to think about. As you navigate your world, both online and off, think about the power of your own giant gate. Are your words just adding to the noise, or are they actually building pathways to understanding? He reminds us that the choice between creating chaos and creating clarity, well, that's always ours.